Good evening, and thank you for coming to my program. No, that sounds silly. Welcome. Thank you so much.
What are you doing?
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Well, next week I'm giving a presentation, and it's to an audience that I really haven't spoken to before. So I thought I would, practice, practice my opening. How do I want to sound? How do I want to come off? And just see how the words roll off my tongue. So I was just practicing.
Wow. I need to work with you because I never do that kind of thing.
Never?
No.
What do you just kind of go, oh, I guess I should just start talking now?
Yeah.
Do you ever lose track of what you're talking about?
Squirrel.
Well, here's what I find. Do you remember let's go all the way back to high school. Do you remember when you had to give a speech, like in speech class or speech and debate? What did you do the night before your big speech? Anything?
I crammed.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let me give you a few tricks and tips that maybe a couple easy things.
Okay.
So before any big speech, I always like to practice it out loud. Actually hearing the words come off your tongue, you're going to know what's a tongue twister or oh, those words really don't go well together. And if you're getting twisted up and just practice, maybe you can actually change the sentence and have a whole new sentence so it'll flow. So you're going to hear the flow. The other thing that I like to do is actually walk through all my points. So I'm doing it next week. So just kind of practicing because then I have time to go through and edit my content.
Don't you feel stupid?
No, never. I've given speeches to my kid, to my cat, to the bathroom mirror. I mean, if you're going to give it and make mistakes, it's better to do it with people you're comfortable with or a colleague or just to an empty room. I was actually by myself in this room talking to myself and hearing it come through. So that would be my recommendation is do your entire presentation at least once or twice through for just something short and informal. If you have a formal presentation, I would practice it a few times. Again, prepare for your speech. The other thing that I think being able to talk through it a couple times, some people like to have, note cards. If you don't know your content well enough, you're going to be like blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah,
I
blah,
can't
blah,
have
blah,
notes, yeah.
blah, 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 and you're going to be reading.
Or I'll lose my place, and then I'll have to go back and be, that would
Where am I?
No,
Exactly.
that will not work for me.
So, what you want to have is an outline so you kind of know the key topics that you're going to talk about and make it really big, and you can even have it on a lectern, not that you're going to hide behind the lectern, but then that way you see enough. If you're doing off a PowerPoint presentation, in your PowerPoint you can write speaker's notes and just enough notes to trigger the thought, and so in my speech, I'm going to be talking about California compliance. So I know that the first thing I want to talk about is meal breaks, but I want to talk about the rules, then I want to talk about rest breaks, then I want to talk about waivers. So in my notes, that's all it's going to say. Meal breaks, rules, rest breaks, waivers. So I need to know my content enough of what I'm going to say in there, but that's to trigger my, to kind of trigger my memory so I don't lose my place. A couple of other things that I think are key. Do you know what's super easy to make homemade videos with?
What?
Oh.
This isn't awkward at all.
Yes, it's not. Take your iPhone or any smartphone with video. I have this little cheapy tripod here, but you can prop it up with anything, have a friend hold it, or heck, duct tape it to, something that's eye level and hit play. Come around, do your speech. What is your body movement? Are you saying,
Oh, I never do that. No.
Never?
No.
So are you looking at your notes too much? Are you saying too much? Do you say, wow, is there any tics that you're giving away that maybe you want to control? Or you want to hear the funny thing that I always do or used to do and I try to control it? Yeah, there we go. When I went to a training class from the first day of class, it was a 3 or 4 day class. They were videoing us, giving different presentations, casual things, more formal things, structured things. The thing that I always do, the teacher said, Dari, are you trying to take flight? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, watch this. Plays my video. The whole class is critiquing you and everyone has to go through it. But I was moving my arms so much. It looked like I was a bird ready to try to take flight. That's how much arm movement I had. So I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to stop doing that or to lessen it? I'm a very expressive person, so I do talk with my hands. When I'm giving big formal presentations, I'll often just tuck a marker or a pen in my hand, and that's my center because I can go back to center and hold it.
Be like a politician and do something like this.
Well, politicians have specific things, like Bill Clinton and Obama. They don't point with their finger because but they have the tick and they do this. So they know they're going to use their hands and they can't stop doing it. But if you ever watch their speeches, they have a closed finger. So they're not waggling their finger, they're doing this, and that's actually a good move. The other thing is an open hand. So instead of finger pointing or whatever you're going to do, but having an open hand as a gesture is, again, much more friendly. To contact, so for me to stop flying away, I'll put the pen and then I can hold the pen or the marker. So that coming together, that reminds me.
You're just
So
like
those are a couple
such
things.
Etiquette.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I enjoy standing in front of people, and I know, right? But if you do a lot of ticks, it can make people crazy. No, am I perfect? No. Do I forget my ticks? Of course. You could do that. However, I can also improve the quality of my speaking. The way I see it is the more formal the presentation or the bigger the audience, the more prepared I'm going to be. If I'm just going to chat in staff meeting about something easy peasy, I'm not preparing for that. However, if I'm going to speak in front of an audience, or if I'm giving a formal presentation like, my final capstone project, then I might be a little bit better prepared.
Yeah. I think we ought to let them off the hook now so they can go get prepared. What do you think?
Okay, go practice.
Good idea.
Cats are really good listeners.